Welcome, everyone, to the Power of Integrity podcast, where leadership aligns with principles. I'm Ralph Adamo, your host. Glad to be here, and we have a wonderful guest today, and Dennis Backer. Dennis is the marketing director for Stroll and Greek community magazines in Newport Beach, Corona del Mar, Balboa Island, Lido Island, and BeLocal in Coachella Valley. Dennis, welcome. We're glad to have you aboard, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Ralph. It's great to be here.
Yeah, Dennis, maybe you can start us off, as I always like to start off, is kind of give us a little bit of your personal and professional journey so people get to know you a little bit more.
Sure, Ralph. Excuse the voice. Getting over a 3-week cold that everybody has, but I'll get through it. I started, of course, after college. I majored in radio, TV, film. Moved to New York a while, moved to Israel for a while, and came back to the States in the mid-'70s and started a video production business in Houston, where I'm from. And we built that business up, and I carried that business up until the 90s. Right before I came to California, we had 12 employees, and we were doing major video commercials, marketing programs, training programs for all the large corporations, the oil companies, Compaq Computer, the medical center, NASA, in Houston. So we had a really nice business. And then 9/11 hit, and the economy shattered, and everybody knows what that story is. So I came back, moved to California. My wife, we had relatives out here, and went back on my own doing video production, built that business up again until that 08-09 recession. Everybody knows that story. And I had to reinvent myself. And people tell me that I've always been reinventing myself. So I wanted to do internet marketing. I'd always be interested. I started marketing some products online, some health-related products. And I was giving a talk at a seminar on marketing, and my topic was how to get your website noticed on the internet. Six effective ways. And a woman from an ad agency came up to me after that talk and said, "Do you do this for other people?" And I said, "Well, I do now." And so got my first clients from that. And this was 2009, and I built that business up till we had about 75 clients, very heavily in the health insurance agent industry and just about every other business you can imagine, until I had an opportunity to have that business acquired and be part of a bigger team, and that was in 2015. So the rest of the story, I think we'll get to as we move on.
Wonderful. Well, wonderful. Thanks, Dennis, for telling our audience a little bit about you and your journey. Man, you have traversed the world in your professional life. For sure. Well, when we turn our attention to the topic of integrity, I always like to ask, and it's never on that prepared list, so I can get an impromptu, organic answer. I always like to ask the question, what does integrity mean to you?
Well, Ralph, it means being ethically and morally, having a moral compass that helps steer you through your life, through your personal life, and through your business life. So it reflects on how you do your work, how people look at you, how people trust you, how accountable you are, how you lead. It's all encompassing in just a major feeling that people get about you when you have integrity.
Absolutely. I couldn't emphasize that more. Can you share a moment where the principle of integrity played a key role in your professional journey?
Sure, I have a few of them. One comes to mind that's in the early days of my video business. And this, as we get through our talk, you'll see there's sort of a pattern here. Had the opportunity to be acquired by someone that was putting together a number of video companies to form a united front in Houston. It was a great opportunity. We moved to a new location. We all got great offers. And shortly thereafter, the owner decided he he couldn't pay our vendors and he couldn't pay our contractors, and we couldn't get people to work for us, and our clients were suffering because we couldn't get the work done. Uh, so I went to him and I said, look, you got to take care of the clients. You got to take care of our vendors. The clients are the most important. If the vendors don't get paid, the clients don't get the work done. And nothing for me comes above taking care of these people. And he did not give a satisfactory answer. So I quit along with everyone else in the company. So we just quit and we went back. We gathered our clients who wanted to come with us and went back on our own. But this guy had no integrity. And I was not used to that. I was used to people being like me. That's what I thought, but strange world out there.
Yes, you kind of stole the thunder on the question. If we turn integrity on its head, have you encountered folks, and what happened with that counterparty that lacked integrity? I don't know if you have another story to add.
I do. As I said, there's a pattern here, uh, because I'm uh, ethical and moral and trustworthy. I tend to miss the lack of that in other people, at least in the beginning. I think everyone's like me. So I mentioned in 2015, our internet marketing company was acquired again, uh, put into a larger team with 5 other companies across the country. Uh, the owner of that company had a good talk and a good game plan, but not good results. And in 2 years, he lost 50% of my clients, our clients. He fired my right hand person that had been with me almost 10 years within 6 weeks of them acquiring us. They were taking trips to London for Google conferences, spending all the money. And again, the same story kept repeating itself. You'd think I would learn. I just trusted him. Uh, and so I lasted for 2 years and then I quit again and I went back on my own. A few clients, internet marketing clients, came with me. Uh, but I wasn't going to let him get away with it. And I had an attorney who was a client and he said, let's take him on. So we sued him and we won. Then, of course, there's the challenge of collecting. And 2 months ago, he filed bankruptcy. So we're on the creditors list. But there's a long list of people that he ripped off. You can search when you search for him. So it's just some people, either they have good intentions. I think he did in the beginning, but they just don't know how to carry it out. And then they turn to the dark side.
Yes, desperate times will make desperate actions for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
But speaking about that gentleman, I had a partner years ago, and he would say, "Don't worry, he's not treating you special. He treats everybody that way."
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
There's a
Everybody
laundry list of things to clean up behind him. That's a shame. Well, tell me, in your times of leading others, your leadership style and how integrity influences that leadership style.
Well, I would say my leadership style really shapes how I make decisions and I build relationships and earn trust from my team. Uh, Style is where values outweigh the short term gain, and so I believe in instilling the values that I have on my team through example, and that seemed to be very successful.
Yes, yeah. What does the impact do you believe integrity has on customer loyalty?
Well, I think it has a major impact because a customer is going to sense and know pretty quickly through an act or a deed whether whether you have integrity and ethics and morals, and they want to stay with someone that has that. I'm the same way if I'm a customer of someone. I can tell eventually if the owner, the officer of the company is does not have integrity, and I'm not going to want to do business with them. So customers are loyal, and I see some. I've had some clients that have not been quite up to par in the ethical standards that they should have. And I've seen their businesses fade, and I've gotten rid of them as clients also. I
Yeah.
don't I don't want to deal with those people.
No, no, understand. It rubs off, and you don't want it rubbing on you.
Yeah.
Can you discuss a key decision you made that was guided by the commitment to integrity?
Well, I would go back to the the first story I told you when back in the 80s, our video company was acquired and merged with some other companies. And I think my key decision was just not putting up with this fellow and how he was treating our clients and our vendors and our contractors. So just resigning and standing up for myself, having the confidence that I knew that I could go ahead and make it. I didn't need him, and none of us did. So we all left and did our own thing together and became successful because the clients trusted us. They were loyal to us, not to this fella.
Yes. And Dennis, what regarding your personal life, how does integrity play its role there?
Uh, I would say, Ralph, that it really shapes how I make my decisions. Uh, that making ethical decisions, even under pressure, have the kind of result that's positive that we're looking for. So, with our friends and other activities that we do, I always want to make sure that we're not doing anything that's not ethical and not moral, and we keep the people around us who are that way also. Uh, you keep your friends that are like you, and you get rid of those friends and associates and business people that are not like you. It just makes for a much happier life and a much healthier life.
That's for sure. Yes. When one believes what goes around comes around, you certainly want to go around the right spots in order for what comes around later, right?
Absolutely,
I
I
guess
like that.
that's both karma and as we sow, so also shall we reap. A lot of history in those two statements for sure.
So true.
Yeah, and doing the right thing when no one's looking. It sounds like what you're saying to me. Yeah,
Correct.
having a moral center. What it was? Has there ever been a time where you can regret not weaving strong enough the threads of integrity into a situation that then backfired?
Uh, I, I I really can't just recall that. I mean, I've always gone into relationships, business wise, with integrity. I guess the problem has come from the other side when I've had those two or three instances where I trusted people because I thought they were like I was, uh, and wasn't true. Uh, but I've learned, you know, not to suffer and to find a way to take care of my team and my clients and get out of a bad situation and come out ahead. And that's what I've always done. I've just been the kind of person that has been very trustworthy. I've trusted people. They've had good stories to tell. They've shown good numbers. They've shown a good path forward. And talk is cheap, I guess.
Yes. Dennis, can you share with our audience, if you have thought through this and can articulate it, how you both spot when integrity is lacking? What are some of the things that have kind of where the bulb went off? And then what is your formula, if you have one, for getting out of that predicament when you see it surfacing?
Well, I think it starts with a change in communication. The messaging gets a little different. It's not as forthcoming and doesn't appear to be as truthful. So there's a little kink here or there, and something is not quite right, uh, and the intent suddenly starts changing from what the initial direction was in a situation. Uh, so I usually ease myself out of the situation. I choose to disengage a bit. Sometimes it's pretty fast, and sometimes it's slower because I'm sort of still testing and see if things will turn around. But usually I disengage and I get out of the situation. I just don't want to get pulled into that.
So I like just to emphasize that for our audience. I think what I picked up from you, one is when communication, when the consistency begins to change or there's a lack of consistency in what's being communicated, and then there's some sort of noted intention that changes from what was your initial impression that the intention was. And those two things are critical as you kind of as a the decoder ring or the litmus test for smelling if something is going awry.
Something goes off.
Yeah.
And it's obviously it's taken a whole career to get to that point. It just uh, some people maybe have it faster, but I didn't. It took a long time to
Yeah,
really
well,
see
what's
one
interesting, you're
thing.
sharing with our audience something that we call that OPE, other people's experiences, and Dennis Backer's experience has led him to believe that at least these two factors, when communication begins to shift and intention begins to change, wow, that's probably a wake up call for bell going off. It might be time to reevaluate this relationship or this situation more closely because it may not be what we thought it was in the first place.
No, absolutely. And I think if people are aware, and if this helps more people become aware, it's going to make their lives a lot happier.
Yeah, the most of the intent of this podcast is to talk about integrity, emphasize it, and remind ourselves and those listening how important integrity is in anything, relationship or otherwise, in the structure of a building, the integrity of that construction, in the construction of a relationship, in the construction of a business, all of those things, integrity just brings a far better, longer lasting, sustainable outcome, is my experience. And that's been the emphasis. But I've not asked anyone what I just asked you, which was, well, tell me how you detect it when it's going off base.
Yeah, I, I guess you have to up your bullshit detector.
Yes, that's plain English. Fantastic. So, Del, when you think about it, our younger audience, so go back way back when, whether it was the 70s or the 60s, when you were starting out, what would you tell our younger audience about the things that were important as you think about it now in retrospect? What were those things that were important that you would want our younger audience either starting their careers, a startup business, wherever they might be, and they're trying to get themselves planted and off and running?
I think first and foremost is be authentic. Uh, you know, create trust with your team and have that aura around you that you are an authentic person, that you're not into the BS and you're not into doing things a little shady, that you really are who you say you are. Uh, and then I would say be consistent. Uh, leading with strong integrity based approach is usually consistent in behavior and expectations. So don't waver, be consistent in what you do. And then they should be accountable. They should own their mistakes and hold themselves to the same standards as others. And this sets a great example for their team and for their working relationships. Uh, and then have influence. Integrity enhances influence. People are more likely to respect and follow a leader they believe is honest, ethical, and driven by a moral compass rather than personal gain. So I think those 4 or 5 items is really what young people could gain if they keep those in mind.
I love that authenticity for sure. I love the notion of being consistent. I always will say to folks, if you're not consistent, you're difficult to predict. And if we can't predict, we can't trust. That makes well, it makes for a terrible relationship when you can't be in a trusting relationship
Yeah,
too, that's for sure.
yeah,
It's like, what am I doing in this relationship if the two of us aren't trusting one another
yeah. And that goes
professionally?
all the way from personal to business.
Absolutely. Yeah, and being accountable is being responsible, right?
Exactly.
You want to know, if you, like I always say, if you want to get something done, give it to a busy person because they're responsible.
I like
Well,
it.
yeah. Go ahead, Dennis. I'm sorry.
No, that was it.
Yes. Well, as we round the corner and kind of wrap up here, one of the things I've been asking our community, our guests, and our clients, and otherwise, is what's the top 2 or 3 things on their bucket list they still haven't checked off yet. And I'm just curious if you'd share and help inspire our folks on some of those things that you have checked off or want to check off still on your bucket list, and inspire others to also do that in their lives, to live a life less ordinary for sure.
Yeah, that's a good question. We all should have them, and mine changes all the time, whether it's personal or business. Because you talk about rounding the corner, and I think I'm rounding the corner. I'm trying to slow down a bit, and I'm busy in several things. You mentioned that I'm a marketing director for a group of magazines in the Newport Beach area. I still have a few internet marketing clients that I work with that I've had for years. But I really would like to see myself turn into more of a consultant to companies that I can help them with their marketing, especially their digital marketing strategies and their print marketing. And now that I'm pretty involved in that, so I think more than active individual business clients, I'd like to be working with more uh, larger organizations that are looking for a consultant on a periodic basis, contract basis, that I can help them move forward. Personal, we like to travel a lot, so I want to continue traveling as long as we're able. Trying to stay a little closer to home, meaning America or Canada, and not the other parts of the world that we've been to a lot, but those trips are tiring. So now we're trying to keep some shorter trips. And just to continue gaining friendships and family and loved ones to just make our golden years happy ones. So not a heavy list, but I think things that can be attained easily.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Oftentimes, bucket lists contain almost unobtainable objectives and goals, and to have realistic objectives that you can check off, and then other times have very expansive ones that stretch your comfort zone. And I'm sure you've
Yeah.
done that with all the things you've done around the world. I'd be curious, can you tell me that one special place or places that you have traveled that may have checked off a pretty phenomenal thing on your bucket list along the way?
Uh, I think one of the most recent trips was Croatia, uh, which is an amazing, beautiful country, wonderful people. The weather was great. We were on the Adriatic Sea for a week, cruising between little small ports. So that was something that in the past, I'd never even thought of going to Croatia. Uh,
Wow.
but we knew people that went, and that was just an amazing combination of Western and older cultures. Uh, so that was a good place. I still haven't gotten to Alaska. That's still on my list.
Yes, that's part of the U.S.
That's right.
Fantastic. So, Dennis, what if our audience and some of the folks in our audience want to get in touch with you? How would they best do that?
Uh, they're welcome to call or text or email. So my number is 949-351-1050. And my email is Dennis.Backer, Backer, at the letter N, the number 2, co.com. So Dennis.Backer at n2co.com. And N2 is our publishing company that publishes our magazines.
Wonderful. Well, Dennis, it's been a delight visiting with you. The time has flown by. I really appreciate you coming on. And thanks again. Let's make sure we connect real soon.
Thanks, Ralph. It's wonderful. You're a great host, and I really enjoyed it. Good luck.
The information presented in this program is provided for informational purposes only. The information is believed to be reliable, but no guarantee of accuracy is made or implied. Expressions of opinions are as of this date and are subject to change without notice. The information in this material is not intended as tax or legal advice. Please consult a legal or tax professional for specific information regarding your individual situation. This information does not constitute a solicitation or an offer to buy or sell any security. Investing involves risks, including possible loss of capital. Ralph Adamo is registered with the securities and are offered through Kovac Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC, 6451 North Federal Highway, Suite 1201, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 33308. Telephone number 954-782-4771. Investment advisory services are offered through Kovac Advisors, Inc. Integrity Wealth Management is not affiliated with Kovac Securities, Inc. or Kovac Advisors, Inc.